Welcome back to the WCS Challenge League for Korea. And we have our first and last non-mirror matchup today, TVZ, between YoDa and True. So, before we get into that, we'll take a look at the bracket where Hurricane ends up. He ends up playing against Hero. We talked about this a little bit before, previously when Hurricane was playing, but he will have to play Portos versus Portos yet again.
Exactly. So both players that were in a mirror match today have also to play a mirror match in the third round, whereas we are now looking at the game between YoDa and True. And the winner of this match has to go up against Effort then in the third round, since former he did not play his game against Effort, apparently due to health reasons, and therefore Zerg is waiting in the third round for the winner of this match that we have now at hand.
Yes. So, looking at these two players, their WCS Korea records are not the strongest. YoDa was a really good player in Wings of Liberty, and in the beginning of Heart of the Storm, he was looking strong as well. You know, he's made it the second round here. He didn't make it through the up and downs last season. I think if he's, with YoDa, I feel like if he's in the zone right now, if he's in shape right now, he's feeling good, I favor him. But if he's not, then I mean, if he's just feeling okay, if he's having just a normal standard day, I feel like True has an edge here.
I feel they're pretty much on par in this game, and I'm not quite sure who exactly is going to take this. Also in statistics, they're very, very similar. I mean, the WCS record, yeah, is better for YoDa, but only by a small margin. If you look at the games in general in Heart of the Swarm, it's very similar. We're jumping into the game now. Game number 1 in our last best of 3 of the day at the WCS Challenge League Korea. YoDa going up against True. A Terran player to the bottom right of Ackland Wastes, map number 1 is
LGIM YoDa.
YoDa definitely a strong opponent to face, but still he's definitely beatable. And to the top left we have his opponent here in the best of 3 in the second round of the Challenger League. It is
G-Nair Green Wings True.
True was able to take players out in the past where everyone thought that he was the underdog, so I'm actually pretty interested to see who exactly makes this, because at this point I don't think that one of them has a huge advantage.
No, I don't think so. It's really similar. We talked about their WCS rankings, for example, earlier, and yeah, YoDa has a slightly better one, but he didn't fall out of Code S, so he didn't play against the caliber of players that True did. So he's actually going for a quick gas here, so he's going to do a Reaper Scout.
Well, to be quite fair, in Zerg vs Terran, it's not about like he didn't play against the caliber players like True did. He didn't lose to the caliber players.
Yeah, exactly.
All the high-profile players that True played against, he lost. He lost to Innovation without taking a map. He lost to Flash. That was both in Pro League. He barely won against Fantasy. Was taken out by Marine King, and like the only really best of 3 game that he played versus a Terran player in Heart of the Swarm was versus Keen, and he took him out. But in general, he's on a 50% win ratio in the matchup. So YoDa is, if you think about it, he's much more experienced in the game. That's definitely true. That's giving YoDa a bit of an edge here. But as you already said, sometimes YoDa is a little bit hit or miss.
Yeah. He's one of those players like Keen, where it's like, he's hit or miss. You know, he has good days that are pretty good, and bad days that are pretty bad.
I actually feel like Keen stabilized a lot.
He's moving towards stability. I wouldn't say he's stable yet, but he's definitely, he's moved in the right direction. But we have a gas up here, and that's exactly what the Reaper wants to go and see. He makes a second Reaper. Or is that his first? Yeah, it's the SV Scout that goes in the main. So yeah, that's just his first Reaper. Still use the second one regardless.
Not pulling a Gumiho here.
No Gumiho. But the second Reaper, of course, will make him maybe force some canceled drones on Spore Crawlers. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, a Zerg player can save a drone by making it into a structure temporarily and then canceling it to get 75% of the resources back.
And, well, now no one was missing the entire time. Like, I felt always a little bit weird. Like, something was a bit off, and now I know what it is. The music is missing.
Oh, we have no in-game music.
Yeah. I was like, it is awfully quiet suddenly, and I'm like, something is different. All right. So that's
the Korean stream doesn't have in-game music either. I'm gonna have to.
No, I'm okay with that. But like, it's now that I identified what it is, it's much better. Okay, now at least I know what's that. But yeah, we have the speed already coming up here for True, and also the Queens at the front. So now against the Reapers, he will be able to just make sure that there are no drones that go down. On the other hand, we have for YoDa his own expansion coming up and followed by the factory. So both of them at first going into pretty normal builds. YoDa more just more focusing on getting scouting information, but trying to play the more greedy build with the third base that now comes up. And with this move, the ball is pretty much in the court of True. He has to make the next move now and decide what exactly he wants to do about it.
Yeah. This is actually a pretty aggressive build from YoDa. We don't really see this all too often. Double Hellion. And he's going to be able to use these Hellions to control the creep a little bit.
Talking about creep, so far not the best creep spread, but actually he's putting down a couple of tumors. He has 3 queens. He wants to have something to defend here. And he might actually just put a few of these evolution chambers to the front to make sure that he has a better chance of really repelling Hellions if they come in. But he also scouted that there is... Oh, he scouted actually everything. He scouted the first 3 Hellions, he saw the reactor. He saw also that we have a third base coming up, which immediately triggered a reaction. True going for another hatch, but he needs to get something into the game that can really help him out against the Hellions.
Exactly. But if you listen very closely...
Yeah, there's something in the background, I know.
Yeah, it's very, very faint.
Something was sneaking in there, but it's not really audible. No, it's gone.
What was that? Was that actually not... Was that like the sound of a factory, but it wasn't actually...
I have no idea. Hellions moving in, though, and here come those Reapers as well.
There's no defense here.
It's pretty standard what we see right now, but yeah, you're right. It's Zerglings coming out in the nick of time. It's actually like pretty good for him. You want to have those units exactly at the time when the attack happens, so the timing for him is pretty good here.
Do you really want to have this many of them? That's the question. He's making 12 more.
Not a defense. That's not a defense.
Exactly.
He wants to go for the attack. He wants to catch those units on creep, trap them, take them down, and go for the counter-attack.
I don't think he's going to get the opportunity. Well, if he catches them at a lucky angle like this, he can get at least half of them.
He showed them too fast. He was waiting for them to go to the third base, but he showed them a little bit too fast. And then when YoDa realized, oh my god, you have a lot of Zerglings, he moved back immediately, and that was when True kind of lost the edge that he had.
He's still got a lot of Zerglings on the map, but they lost the edge, like you said, and the element of surprise is really gone. If he gets in here while these units are attacking the rocks, on the other hand...
I don't think they're going to do
He's not going to try it.
It's not going to be super easy, but like the Zergling numbers and the Hellion numbers, he should be able to defend that.
Had he gone in and got lucky, maybe... No, not at that angle. Well...
he's not microing it. YoDa actually not even pulling the Hellions back. If he just stands there and takes it, yeah, then it's going to be...
This is actually, I think, game.
That is... It looks pretty much like it. I mean, all of the units already...
He let the depots down. I mean, what is he doing?
He didn't micro his Hellions. He didn't do anything. Like, that is very much surprising. 17 Harvesters killed, and he's going to kill even more.
Yeah.
The Harvester count is 52 to 23, but we have triple CC, so Harvesters don't matter.
Harvesters do not matter, not even a little bit. But the thing is, he's transitioning at home, so this is not going to end the game. He's not actually going to force YoDa to type GG, but he might as well. 74 to 33, 62 to 20 Harvesters with all the tech.
You do not GG when you have 3 CCs and mules. Not as a Terran. There is no reason to do that. He's horribly behind in overall supply. But as a Terran, you can, in a situation like this, you can always bounce back. If the Zerg player plays a little bit too condescending and thinks, okay, I got this, then you can punish him.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's still a chance. Thing is, he didn't only just lose a bunch of Harvesters, he lost every unit he had too.
I mean, you look at the income right now, and it's 1,200 versus 2,000 minerals, but the gas income is 450 against 250 in favor of the Terran player. That's one of the reasons why we have such a huge discrepancy right now. And the income is going to get like pretty good for the Terran player in just a few seconds. But True is making the right moves right now. He's going for a 4th base, and he's stabilizing his, he's solidifying his position with the +2/+2 upgrade. So he's not going to get overly aggressive. The wrong move would have been to just go for a second wave of units and trying to force a victory out, because then he would potentially have lost too much. But still, for YoDa, you can already see he's closing the gap in supply.
One thing I'm concerned about for True is that he doesn't have the Spire. I mean, it started, but he doesn't have any Mutalists, and without Mutalists, the drops are going to be very annoying for him to deal with. He has a lot of Lings that's going to be helpful, but you know, those Lings probably can't be everywhere at once.
I just don't know what exactly happened to YoDa there. He could have microed his Hellions. You know, I looked at the army that he had on the high ground and was like, yeah, he should be fine. If those Zerglings really commit, it's going to be a close battle. But he will be able to fend that off with the reinforcements streaming in. And then he didn't micro those Hellions once. And then the Zerglings was just taking everything down. Lowering the supply depots in the main base, as you already pointed out, was a bit of a mistake here for him since he couldn't do anything else. But like...
well, damage hits here not good enough. His Ling Run by, on the other hand, could do a massive amount of damage if he micros them.
Yeah, he's gonna force... yeah, he's taking units on at the third base as we speak. The Harvester count is once again down to 37 against 69 right now. His attack is not gonna do anything, and there's the GG. Second Ling Run by just a bit too much. YoDa once more not lifting the supply depots. After one Ling Run by, maybe he can try to come back in the game. He's far behind already, but like the second one, that's definitely the nail in the coffin.
It's just he lost his aggressive ability to do anything when he lost. I mean, yes, he lost a lot of Harvesters. That's a big deal, but like you said, when you have 3 CCs, Harvesters don't really matter. It was more so about like he lost his whole army.
I've seen Bomber come back with 1 Harvester in the game.
Yeah.
And he has 3 CCs. So, Harvester count for a Terran player, not that important.
It really is not.
If you have a solid position...
yeah, I mean, if you have an army and you have like Stim and Medivacs and you have mules, you do not need any Harvesters.
Problem is, if you do not lift your supply depots when your opponent is trying to run in, then why did you put up the wall in the first place?
Yeah.
So he didn't see it on the minimap, I guess. I feel that was his problem. Was busy with his splits and trying to pay attention to the Marines that were at the top left to make sure they aren't taken down by Banelings. But that's, yeah, these run-bys that we just saw by True, that was game.
Well, see if True can take a 2-0 here, Polar Knight being our second map. YoDa not looking too phased by his defeat, on the other hand.
Yeah, but also not looking too happy either. I mean, let's see what he can do. He needs 2 wins in a row right now against True at the WCS Challenger League. Colin Wolf.